All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone is having an amazing morning and hope you had a great day yesterday as we get into Friday, our last day of the week of trading. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm great. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. All right, guys. Let's
Good. Hey,
yeah.
just a heads up. If you hear some barking in the background, I've got thunderstorms going through pretty good here, and my dogs
Mm,
don't like them. So,
gotcha,
just
man.
a heads up.
No worries, no worries. All right, guys. So let's get into. We had quite an exciting evening. Looks like after hours here with the markets and Roku and some other stocks as well taking off, including Apple also looking nice this morning. So looking forward to see what kind of day is going to be. No, we'll go over that in a second. But first, let's look at what we had yesterday on our watch list. Let's start over here with Roku, guys. So Roku again has been on a nice little tear the last couple of days. It's kind of getting some ground here after being able to find a base. Yesterday did not do so well. If we look at yesterday on the 5 minute, at least for a long, but for a short, it was amazing. So here's Roku. Let's look at our 1 minute chart up here as well. All right, let's see how this traded. So again, we had two possible good opportunities on here. The first one was long, right? Long right at the open. If you waited for the 5 minutes, it got a little bit too extended. But I saw a great entry here. I don't usually take this entry before the three minute mark, but right here, this was a great entry here. So once it became you had this candle goes above VWAP. Maybe not on this one, but this one here is a good one to go long. I mean, you're above all the moving averages. It's looking strong. It's making higher highs and higher lows. So that's a good indication that we're in a nice uptrend. And you can see here it just took off. Once it cleared, I think the pre-market high, I believe. Yeah, once it cleared the pre-market high, it just took off here nicely. If you waited for the 5 minutes, it was too extended to take a 5 minute opening range break up here because usually after such a big run like that, you want to be extra careful. If you are going to take this long for an opening range, you want this to come back down and give you a nice decent pullback, right? Probably middle of the candle or so to make sure that it's not going to dump on you like it did later on here. A couple of minutes later. So a couple of minutes later, you can see on the 1 minute, it got pretty toppy. Now the one issue with these stocks, when they start up so strong like this, it's hard to take a short, right? Once they become toppy, right? We saw that with what was it yesterday? QGen and some other stocks that again just were tearing it up. Every time they looked like they were going to do a pullback, they just kept going higher. So this one here gets toppy, then out of nowhere it just starts dropping nicely below the VIA, becomes a good opportunity, and then from there just goes straight down towards the low of the day and even lower. Gives you a retest, right? We broke the low of the day here, comes back up, retests that low of the day, and then drops again one more time. So that was Roku yesterday. Again, we gave some good opportunities for a short and also a long right at the morning. Then here we have X, guys. X was again just very choppy, not really tradable in this area. Did not know what it wanted to do. Eventually settled down, and you can see the nice little pop here, breaking the high of the day and heading higher, hitting this 1057. I think that was the high of the pre-market, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. That's on right there, hitting that, and then from there you got this nice engulfing on the 5, and then this rapid drop here, very fast drop there. DAL was nice, guys. We traded. I got in short here, got stopped out. Then later on in the day, Kurt, a lot of the members also, we all went long around this area here. I mean, it looked good. Kurt actually took an entry way early on here. He took a really nice trade on this. I got in a little bit later once it was going to break the high of the day, and this thing just ripped up really nice here, heading higher and higher, and again just became a beautiful trend trade. Really not clean at the open. A lot of people getting stopped out, myself included. I went short here for open range breakdown, got stopped out, and then out of nowhere it just starts, not out of nowhere, after it settles down, right? Usually these stocks after an hour and a half, they settle down. If they're going to trend for the day, they'll pick a trend and they'll follow some moving average, and you can see here how nicely this traded on DAL. PCG has some action pre-market activity, had a beautiful pre-market activity, but at the open didn't do anything. Had this one pop over, what was that, probably 50 cents or so, and then just kind of went chopped for the rest of the morning. Even throughout the entire day was not clean, just very choppy, not really giving you any good clean signals or opportunities. So again, PCG has some news. This stock is taking quite a bit of a hit. So again, we'll see how that trades today. BBBY also was a nice opening range breakup. You can see here the 5 minute gives you a beautiful opening range. The pullback didn't come on this candle though. The pullback came a little bit more on that 15 minute candle opposed to that 10 minute. So on that 15-minute candle, you can, I'm sorry, it's 5-minute. It came on the 10-minute instead of the 5-minute. Nice pullback to the VWAP here. This would have been a better entry, and you can see here how nice it breaks of the high of the day and heads higher over here. Then you got this crazy drop out of nowhere. Did not expect BBBY to drop like this. The stock opened up pretty strong. I think it was up about 20% or so. Usually stocks that open up like that and start off like this with so much volume usually tend to be strong for the rest of the day, but this one did not. This one came right back down, slight below the VWAP. Tried to get back up towards the high of the day, could not establish anything above the VWAP. Once you start seeing this, where it cannot establish above the VWAP and it goes under, that's usually a good indication that it's going to trend downwards for the rest of the day, and it did. It did just that, came back below the VWAP, the retest we like to see, and there's the drop back down. Now, check this out, guys. When you get this drop below the VWAP, in here, you might think this is a retest, but this candle goes above. So usually on the retest, I like to wait for it to come back down, right? Once it comes back down, the way down, that's when you want to get in. I'm not saying that's always going to work, but you don't want to get on the one that goes right back up, because this could be a retest of the VWAP that just missed it, and, you know, it's probably could head higher. So again, just be aware of that. Not every time something crosses a level or a technical level means that on the retest, if it goes above it, you don't want to get in yet. You want to get in on the way back down towards the level that you want to go with. So here's Apple. Apple again just started off really choppy at first, and then Norm, you was in this trade, I believe, or got in right on him. I don't remember exact trade.
Yeah, I got in about 5 seconds before that breakout.
Unbelievable. I was also watching this one, and even before the breakout here, I think the SPY took off. Even before that, here we're saying, man, this thing looks good for a long. It looks like it wants to break the high of the day. Yep. Norm and I were live in the chat room yesterday, and then it was already setting up for that kind of pop, and the SPY came in to give it a nice little boost here, and look and see how this beautiful takeoff here on Apple. So a lot of you members took that trade based on this signal here, and the SPY came in and gave you a nice little boost there. So that was good. So that was our watches from yesterday, guys. A lot of stocks that traded very well, very clean. So let's see now what is going on. I'm going to leave Roku up here because Roku is probably going to be in play for the next couple of days. So let's see what the SPY is up to. Norm, give us some insight on what's going on.
Yeah, so SPY's up big time, 3 points, 1.1%. This is on news of China trade talks supposedly going well. There's the president's meeting with the vice premier of China later today. They announced he tweeted out that they're making good progress on the trade talks. Now, we've heard this time and time again. Who knows if it's real or if it follows through, but that's what we're getting popped on this morning. There was a little bit of news that earlier Iran said one of their oil tankers got hit with a couple of missiles and things of that nature, but it really didn't seem to bother the markets too much. We've got a couple of Fed members speaking today at various events. It's been going on all week, not too uncommon. And then at 10 a.m. could be a big number as the consumer sentiment index. So that's 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll have my eye on that to see what it does to the market.
All right. So again, here the SPY is up quite a bit, 1%. So we'll see how that does at the open. Got some good activity happening, which is taking a lot of stocks up. As you can see here, a lot of green on the screen. Let's start with Roku, guys. Roku is up 6.9. And last night I got a text and they're like, "Do you see what's happening with Roku?" And it's just unbelievable. This thing sold off nicely all the way down here, and then right after hours, just look at this pop. Just insane. Basically recovered the half of what it lost yesterday on this downtrend all day. So that's nice. And then after hours just kept grinding higher and higher. So they are up now 7% this morning. Some good pre-market activity overall. Again, Roku's been one to watch. It's been very active after, again, this strong rally here. Getting toppy here. Some news coming out and really hurting them on the downside. And now we're kind of have a nice support here heading higher with some good positive news in the markets, also fueling some of this move here. So Roku is definitely one to watch this morning. Next we have BBBY still on here, even from yesterday being up to about 20%. Now it's up another 3.4. Pre-market activity looking a little bit wild right here, pretty choppy at the moment. 201,000 shares traded so far, but this could be a great one for a continuation today. So we'll definitely keep an eye on BBBY this morning. PHI is pretty much flat. I don't see anything here. Some block orders. Some block trades right on here, about 53,000 a pop, so giving you 107. So not really anything going on at the moment. Let's go over to Baba. Baba is up 3.4. I expect JD should be up as well with this type of news. Let's put JD on here, see what that's doing. So here we have Baba. Baba has actually a pretty good pre-market activity. You know, this is great for Baba. It doesn't trade pretty heavily in the pre-market. But right now we have 171,000 shares traded on it. And we also have this... the daily looks a little choppy, but what I like, again, if you can like anything from this type of daily chart, here you have a level that looks like we're stuck in a range a couple of days ago. If we can break out of this, right, with the positive news and everything, we do have some room to move up here. So again, even with this nasty daily chart that's not as clean, you can see some opportunities in here if we can get going towards the upside. Here is JD. JD will be a good one to watch today as well, because this one also has the same similar pattern as Baba. These guys are almost trade hand in hand. So this will be a good one to watch also. Not a great pre-market activity, a lot less volume, but we'll keep this down here as possible, as we do have some positive Chinese news that can help these stocks get going today. MU, very similar as well. So MU, again, MU had earnings, nice drop here, and now we are in this consolidation period, and we're getting to one of the highs of this consolidation of this range. So also another good one to watch, has some good volume actually, 670, which is quite a bit for MU at the pre-market. So we'll definitely keep an eye on MU. Next we have AMD. See what AMD is up to. AMD has just been, even though it's up today 2%, it's been so horrible to trade. I'll keep it on here, but definitely not one that I'm going to look to keep on my final list, because it's just been nasty. Even the intraday, if you look at some of these intraday trading here at the open, has not been pretty clean. And we have a red one today, YNDX. If you're red today, you're doing something wrong. So this one is down 8%, 455,000 shares traded, down quite a bit. Norm, I know a lot of these all in green are probably because of the market. Do you have any specific news on any of these up here? Besides BBY, we know they had their news yesterday and a kind of a continuation today.
Yeah, Roku got an upgrade. I believe RBC and one upgrade and a price target increase to like 150, 155-ish. So that's what's helping Roku on this continuation move. EBBY, I believe it got pumped in Kramer's show last night. That might be a little bit of that. PHI, like you said, that's Philippines, and it's a block trade. BABA, MU, AMD, that's on trade news primarily. And I don't know I haven't seen the news on Yandex yet. I know there's something out there, but I don't know what it is. This is a foreign company. I believe they're based in the Netherlands, and they operate primarily in Russia. But I have not seen the individual news. Once it comes across and I get a hold of it, I will give a shout out to what's going on there.
Excellent. All right, so we'll see what's going on here. So this is dropping nicely. Does have some great volume. We'll definitely keep an eye on this. We have some levels we can find here towards the left over here, February. So we got some areas on there. So again, looks good. Good pre-market activity. We have traded this one in the past, and it does trade very well when it's in play. And today, guys, with this drop, 8.5 and dropping even lower, definitely in play for the day. So I'm looking forward to see what that's going to do. And on a day where everything is green and you're red, you're definitely worth taking a look at closely, because the news is obviously very impactful that's making you red today. Let's go Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers over here in the first column. SES. This one has a good pre-market activity. 1 million shares traded. Let's hope it's not a low flow. Of course it is. 1.3 million shares flow. So again, although it's a low flow, guys, it got a good pre-market activity right now. Some really good volume. The daily chart is actually not as bad for one of these low flows, right? This thing could be tradable if it can give us a good opportunity on here. So I'm going to put it down for the low flow team right over here. SES is very active this morning. I think this pre-market activity looks very, very clean, guys. Again, it's all about trade this only if this is your style of trading, and you got to manage your risk accordingly. TVIX should be down quite a bit today. Yep, down on 5.5 this morning as the markets are up a little bit. Nasdaq ETF, AMD. Yeah, AMD, we have it on here. We have AMD. Let's see if it can break out of this range. I just don't trust the way it's been trading lately. Hopefully it can surprise us today. Next, we have INPX. So this one, penny stock. We'll skip this. YNDX we have. So I get some good pre-market activity happening here. Could be nice maybe for a rising devil strategy here at the open with this downtrend. So let's see how that builds up as we get closer to 9:30. I know a lot of you guys have been trading that that strategy quite a bit and been very, very successful at it. Roku, we have, again, beautiful pre-market activity, some great volume with news of an upgrade, news of the market, trade talks going well, and also just overall finding a base here, right? Even before the news, we were having a lot of movement here on Roku, so that's nice as well. TIBR, nothing happening there. We have, Apple is here. How do we miss Apple? Why is Apple not in our scanners? I know they're up quite a bit, 1.2. Oh, it's just 1.2, but what I like about Apple, guys, they broke out of this area of resistance right at 229.99. I feel like I'm selling you something there, but let's put Apple on here because I think that's gonna be good to watch. All right, next column, Nasdaq Active SES. Also, we have it ACRX. Nothing going on here. Has volume 216, but not a great pre-market activity. So don't like the way that's looking there. Fast is up 9.4. What's the float on Fast? I saw someone mention Fast yesterday in the chat room. So this is 285, 77 cents ATR. Right, so the volume is just a little light. That's why it's not hitting our scanners. But if this can get going, I like the pop though. The pop is right into an area of resistance here, so we can see what that does around that area if we can break out of that. So yeah, let's keep an eye on Fast. Doesn't have the volume just yet, but I do like the way this pop is happening here, and I like the way how much it's gapping up this morning, 9.4 on a green day. That could be interesting too. Is that earnings? Thank you, Hector. All right, so we have earnings on Fast, positive news on there. All right, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. OGI, not doing much, no volume. SPEX, not doing much. Roku is on our list. RYAAY. This was gapping up 6%, but look at just the daily chart itself. Looks foreign. Also, I don't see anything great in the pre-market activity at the moment. JMU also more of a penny stock. We'll skip that one. BNTX, sorry. Recent IPO just opened up yesterday, looks like. That's what I'm getting on the charts. Yeah, just opened up yesterday. So recent IPO, biotech, whatever, BioNTech, whatever this thing is. All right, so not interested in it right now. We can see if it hits our scanners or something. ANGI, not doing much, no volume. WEN, also not doing much at the moment. We have traded this one in the past. This is Wendy's. Let's remove some of these levels. So they're up 6.1. It could be interesting. It's up 6.1. It all depends on how if they're gonna get some volume or not. We'll come back to it. Let's put it on here. Might not make our list, but we'll definitely take a look at it. All right, Norm, what do you like on your end? And then we'll get to the chat, see what you guys like this morning.
This Apple sure does look interesting, right up against all-time highs. So let's see what it does. Roku, of course. Got my eye on NVIDIA. I've missed this move the last few days, but I've had some good moves elsewhere. And then Facebook as well. I've got my eye on that because they've started to make this move, but they're not as far along as a lot of these others. So I'm going to have the daily on Facebook looks interesting. It is broken just above the 20 this morning on the daily chart. So I'm going to see if they can maybe possibly get up to about 180 forward. The 50 sits.
Yeah, no, it broke. I'm sorry, Facebook definitely has some room here on the daily. Looks good as well. Looks like they're getting to the area where they last had some support. They broke out of that, and now you got a minor resistance probably here around 183. Nothing too crazy, but again, you got some room there to grow. All right, excellent. What do you guys like this morning? So Fast on earnings, we do have. Again, they don't have the volume quite yet, but it's just a matter of time because we just popped into this. It was at 60. Now it's at 76. So volume is coming in. It will hit our scanners in a bit. And again, looks really good on this pop here. What else we have? XLNX. See what's going on there. One we have traded in the past before. I like the pop, right? The pop is looking well on the daily, but the problem right now is the volume is so light. I'm not sure if there's any specific news on this. And we're going to find a lot today that's going to look like this, guys, because the market looks strong and it's a lot of green on here. So we might have a lot of these are showing like a sign of a bounce. The difference is going to be, if they have another catalyst behind it, like news, earnings, or whatever the case may be, or or they have volume, right? Some of the stuff is just moving on just volume alone, and that's going to help it quite a bit. So XLNX, I don't see anything great right at the moment. We can come back to it. Ella, if you see something good that pops up, throw it back out to us. MU looks interesting as well. Yeah, MU does look interesting. MU, that's what I have it on here. MU looks very good. Actually looks better than AMD. So we might take off AMD and keep MU again. I like the dailies. We kind of have a double bottom on the daily. Not perfect, right? You want it to come down here, retest this at last area of support. But I like this double bottom here. If we can break out and plus with some positive market news, this can get going nicely. Let's look at X. X was active 2 days ago with the loss of the resignation of their CFO. So they had a nice drop here. They didn't do much yesterday. Today they're kind of in a tough area. I don't see anything great happening right now, pre-market wise. Volume wise, they are getting some, some volume here, 83. But this pre-market activity is not looking all that great. I think out of this bunch here, we're going to have better stocks that are going to give us possibly better opportunity. But you can definitely throw this in your secondary list. I mean, this stock is really going to crap here. It's taken a huge hit, over the last couple of days and just continues to get bad news. So eventually we'll find the bottom. But again, when that happens, let's hope that our scanners pick it up. But right now, it's not looking all that great. Fast, we have. Is Fast on a conference call right now, Adam? Is that happening now or scheduled to happen? Let's look at Work in the meantime. Work. Yeah, Work. It's got some volume, 72,000 shares trading. Not a great pre-market activity yet. Daily looks okay. This also, again, this is one of those recent IPOs. I say recent because, again, very compared to the stock market, it's very recent, right? Just opened up in July. I'm not seeing anything too great right now in regards to the pre-market based on everything else we have, right? So we have like BABA setting up nicely here for possible pop. We have BBY also setting up nicely. Roku, of course. So I think there's some other ones that are looking a lot more interesting. YNDX at the moment than that one does. Let's look at Netflix. What is Netflix up to? See, the reason why this looks interesting because it had such a big day yesterday. We're up now another 1.4, and we're going to be hitting 100,000 in a second. So pre-market activity, horrible. This is horrible pre-market activity. It's not looking great. But on the daily, you have a real nice opportunity here. If we can get going, get higher above these levels, that could be a good continuation play. So Netflix is exciting. Again, doesn't have the great pre-market activity right now. So we'll see how that does. RBX. There we go. All right, this one has some volume. It's a foreign stock. It's tell right away by the daily chart. See all these gaps. So on a day like today, when we have so much great stuff to watch, I'm going to skip this one, guys. Royal Bank of Scotland. So we're going to skip that one for today. CGC. I know the POS stocks were active yesterday. All of them were dropping down, hitting our turbo breakdown scanners. If we look at CGC, let's take a quick look at it. Just again breaking down nicely here. TLRY also hit their scanners yesterday for a breakdown. Same thing here, just breaking down. CORN didn't sell off as much in the scanners. Oh no, they did actually. They eventually did. But we got hit with the scanners around this time here. They were all selling down. This one was selling up when I saw it, but eventually this sold down as well. So again, they're getting hit. This has not been great. And this was the news based on the EAT SIGs that are using their chemicals. So that's becoming a problem for them. SAP. I saw SAP. Earlier today. This had a nice gap. The problem with SAP is a foreign stock, also very difficult to trade. They're up today on 8.5, must be on some earnings. That's a big pop there. But again, they're tough to trade. So I think we could find other ones that are better to trade here. But again, that could be a good possible to keep on your secondary list. Bank of America's also got the same look as MU does. I like MU better than Bank of America because this one, the ATR is so small and it barely moves. So on a day like today, I'm going to bypass Bank of America. If you look at the ATR in Bank of America, it's 64 cents. But again, it is horrible. You gotta watch the trading. Actually, it's higher than I expected. It's a lot higher. But then it gets a very large flow, 9.3 billion. Again, it just doesn't move well, guys. So take a look at it. It's very choppy. It could take you forever to get that 60 cents. What else we have? RBS we looked at. LYG. Peter's giving us LYG. Are these all together? All moving? Okay, gotcha. These are all moving. All right, I'm going to skip all of those. They look all not that great, and they all look foreign. Thanks for that. All right, what else do we have? What else do we have here? All right, let's look in YouTube. Yeah, so Fast we have SCES. We do have down here. I think that's the low flow of the day. Looks very good. Netflix is moving. Fast as earnings. NVIDIA. Yeah, Norm did mention NVIDIA earlier. Yeah, Nvidia also looks good. We know what could happen if it can break out of this area up here. So Nvidia looks good as well. It's got decent pre-market activity. It's going to be hitting our scanners too in a second. 95,000 shares traded right now. So we'll throw Nvidia on there. BCS also, that's some news on breadsticks as well. So again, I'm not going to put BCS on my list. Fro has some volume, but it looks, again, this looks foreign to me, and the daily doesn't look great neither. So I'm not sure about this daily chart, you know.
Froze out of Bermuda.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that today. We got way too many great stuff happening right here. Don't need to go outside at the moment. GoPro, we looked at GoPro before. It's also one that doesn't move a lot too. It takes a while to get going. I'm not sure what the ATR is, but every time I'm in that trade, it feels like it just takes forever. So here's GoPro, guys. Yes, it could be setting up for a bounce. I'm shocked that they haven't bounced at least a little bit with some of the good news. Actually, they're up 1.8, which is decent, but again, you could barely see that move happening in the chart here. So they could be setting up for a bounce here, guys, but the volume is not quite there yet. Look for this in your scanners. If it can break out of the high from yesterday, it could be a possibility. I just don't expect it to give you a nice run. So that's my issue with GoPro. All right, what else we have? What else we have over here? BAC, CGC. We looked at NAT. NAT doesn't have much activity right now in the pre-market. Man, this thing been on a hell of a run the last 5 days, 5 days or so. Look at this thing here. So yeah, but doesn't have good pre-market activity right now. Pretty much flat. It could be setting in for continuation, but I just don't like the way this one is trading at the moment. So I'm gonna skip it. What's the float on this? So it's not a low float, 28 cents ATR, which is great for a stock that's trading at $4. But so you could definitely watch this one for continuation. Not giving you any signals pre-market activity right now of any activity happening just yet. It does have 152,000 shares traded, but again, just not anything I'm gonna have on my list personally. All right, guys. So we got quite a bit. I think a lot of it looks good. We're gonna have to pick which ones we like the best. We'll do one more. ATVI. What's going on with ATVI? Remove these levels. Yeah, not much volume right now unless they have some news coming out. I don't see much happening at the moment. All right, guys, let's get over to some announcements, and then what we'll do is we'll come back and fine-tune this list.
All right. Dad's got the #1 best trader competition ends next Tuesday. You can check out the leaderboard at onebesttrader.com. Well represented by BBT. So good luck to all you guys wrapping up the end of that, the last few days of that competition. We've been honored to be nominated for the Benzinga FinTech Awards, Best Financial Literacy Tool category. If you like the content that we put out each and every day, both on YouTube for free or in the chat room, we would very much appreciate your vote. Abby will throw up the link, and you can vote one time per device per day. Meetups coming up. We got St. Louis right around the corner, October 19th. Kurt and William will be there. San Diego, October 26th, coincides with the Trade Ideas Conference. Andrew will be there. That is the evening of after the conference. So look forward to seeing you guys there. And then Clearwater Beach, Florida, November 16th. More details as we get a little bit closer to that event. Andrew sent out a very interesting / educational email earlier this week, and part of that was a 30% off lifetime membership promotion with the promo code RECESSION. So if you put that in, checking out for a lifetime membership, you can get 30% off right now. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, have not checked out the room but would like to come in and try it out, see how trading live with us is throughout the day with Andrew, then Brian, myself, Eamon, Peter, Williams Trade Reviews, Kurt, and everybody else, come check us out. You can use the promo code premarket24 to get a discount off a 1-week trial. Does not auto-renew, does not turn into another kind of membership. If you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, you'll also be notified every time that we go live at the pre-market show. New content, Williams Trade Reviews that he's streaming live over YouTube, or any of the great interviews we have with the likes of Dr. Brett Steenbarger, Mike Bellafiore, and such. Also, Traders for a Cause conference is this weekend in Las Vegas. So I guess, if you're last minute and you'd like to be a part of that, you can use the promo code Bearable VIP, save $250 off your ticket. And the only last thing I have to say for announcements today is hook 'em horns. Beat Oklahoma.
Excellent. All right, guys, let's get to it. So we have quite a bit on here. Let's go through all of them first and see if we could eliminate ones that just still at this point, 9 a.m. Eastern time, do not look all that great. So Roku, we like. BBBY, we like for a continuation either way here or possible rejection of yesterday's high. So I think we definitely watch this one. Pre-market activity does not look all that great, so let's keep that in mind. If we find something better down this list, we can remove that one. BABA looks great for a breakout out of here. Again, SPY is pretty strong right now, so if we can get some momentum and break out of these area of resistance, we do have some room to get going here. So I like BABA today. Some positive Chinese talk. JD right behind it. I'm probably not going to keep both. I'll keep one over the other. So I'll probably keep BABA because it has more volume and looks like a somewhat of a better pre-market activity this morning. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Let's just take it off right now so we don't have to spend time on it. So let's look at but if you see JD come up in your turbo breakup, then there's some good movement happening there. If you like that stock better, you can definitely tune into it. Here we have MU, guys. I like MU today with all the positive talk that's happening. So again, we have some situation. We can break out of this area of resistance here. We can definitely get a nice little move out of MU. MU has been trading a lot better than AMD. Look at AMD's pre-market activity. It's not looking all that good. Just going to remove AMD. But again, as we know, we can check our scanners. As AMD starts lighting it up there, we can tune into AMD. YNDX will keep. Definitely is the only one that's red on our scanners today, so worth watching. Apple's got some good activity. What's the all-time high on Apple, Norm? What is it? Are we right up on it?
Yeah, we're right there. It's 233.33ish, I believe.
All right, so
pennies.
Okay.
37.
Oh, so we're
right on
there. Okay. So I'll just mark the high of the day. We're really right knocking on the door here. Okay. So I'm just going to mark the high of the pre-market right now. So here we have Fast. Fast is good. So these guys had a call this morning or are having a call right now, but they're up quite a bit. They got some volume. They're up 9.9. Definitely worth watching. If we can get over this little hill over here, we can definitely start squeezing some people. What's the short flow on this one on Fast? Not high. So I don't expect a huge pop based on that. So again, but up pretty nice this morning. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that one. Wendy's, we're going to drop Wendy's because we're not getting the volume. The daily looks interesting. Had a nice little pop here. We have the 2150. We're heading right back down, but the volume is not quite there yet. But the daily looks good, right? The daily looks nice, like it's ready to head higher. So we'll take it off for now. Fast, do I have Fast twice? No, that's something else. No, we like Fast, okay. Netflix. Netflix I'm going to put down as a possible. It could have a good continuation day today, but the pre-market activity right now, if you look at the 5, it's not looking all that clean. So I'm just going to put this on here, Netflix. All right, here we go. Next we have, what else we have here? Let's go back down to take this one off from here. SES. SES is the low flow of the day, so I'm going to bring this down over here. All right, SES. All right, here we go. That's the low flow of today. NVIDIA is the next one we have. So NVIDIA, NVIDIA looks good, guys. We have a good pre-market activity here. We're starting to get some good volume. We're going to be over 100,000, up 2.1. So this looks good. So we have quite a bit that looks good at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll go through all these 8. We'll do some levels, and we can do as we get closer to 9:15, 9:30. We can fine tune them a little more, and based on what's looking great, because there's 8 stocks for me is way too much to watch. Let's start with Roku, guys. High of our pre-market sitting at 124.97. So we'll mark that down. It's had a nice little rip after hours yesterday. Let me just look at this. If we zoom back on your 5-minute, look at this candle here. Just massive. That is what is this? 116, roughly 119. I mean, that's a nice pop there. And it just takes off. No looking back after that. Getting as high as 122 when they closed at 116. So again, nice little pop there on Roku. So high of the pre-market 124.97. Above that, we have a moving average hanging around 128. I'm going to mark that down. 128.68. We'll mark that down there. And coincides with this area here as well. You can see this drop. Right, this price target 128.68. We do have a loss of momentum there. We do get a gap. We do get a pop here. It comes back up, and then get a gap down that comes right below this area. So again, I think this area is going to be something you want to have marked down. Towards the bottom, guys, I think you have plenty. I don't think you need to add any more because the last 2 days give you these great levels. You have the high of yesterday, low of yesterday, high from 2 days ago, low of 2 days ago, right in there. So the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, and right in between that, a nice previous day close line. So again, I don't think you need to add any more. For Roku, you got plenty of levels on here. If we can break out this 124 high of the pre-market, and we can possibly test that 128 and get some good movements. Here is BBBY. Right now, pretty choppy pre-market activity. Might be one that I drop. Low of your pre-market at 1241. Your high is sitting right above the high, right below the high from yesterday. So I'm not really going to mark it. You could, if you like, around 1269, but it's so close to this. I don't want to have way too many levels in here. So I'm going to just put that on there. Towards the bottom, obviously we want to put down the last area of support, the most recent, which was 11. So we'll mark that down. And if we head towards the left over here, yeah, I think 11 is great. I don't think you need to add anything in here. Even if you look at the daily chart in here, I think we had 11 as well. You can see that it's a clean area of support and resistance between the low from yesterday and that 1101. And then towards the top, if we can break out of yesterday's high, if we go back over here, we can see a very clean retest of this level here at 1385. And then you have a moving average right at 13. 13 is going to be a problem for sure. So definitely mark it. These whole dollar numbers on stocks are this low, tend to be an issue when it comes to loss of momentum and trying to break out of that. So mark 13. 03 around that area, you have a moving average there as well. So that's BBBY, guys. It does have some volume, 245. Again, I just don't like the pre-market action. I might drop this one off. Now BABA, I do like this morning, setting up nicely towards the bottom. You have plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close, again, very congested down here. Don't need to put any more levels on here. Not even, you don't even have to put even the low of the pre-market. You even have to mark that down with how many levels you have down there. So let's focus on the upside. So we have 172.23, the last area of resistance, most recent that we have on there. Above that, you do have this 176.45, which is a great one too. What I like about this daily, again, it's not a lot to like about this daily. It's very choppy, but you do have this drop coming right down. That's too much. We do have this drop coming right down to that 172, which happens to be the area of resistance that we have to get through. Comes right back up to this 176 and then right back down to this 172. The minute you lose that 172 and this moving averages, look at the drop, right? So expect this 172.23 to be an issue getting above that. All right, so MU also has the same type of setup as well. This resistance area here at 44.75. Your high of your pre-market, I'm going to mark that down in case we have a problem getting above that, 44.36. So let's put that on there. Above that, we have the start of this gap, right? The top of this gap at 45.93. But it's going to take a lot to get up there anywhere near it because you do have tons of moving averages in here. Plus, again, you have this last resistance on here. It's going to need a lot of help from the SPY to get going this morning. Towards the bottom, same as BABA, guys. Plenty of levels on here. Do not need to get this more congested. Highs and lows of the last 2 trading days and previous day closes, dotted black line right over here. YNDX, this is one that's going to be interesting to watch. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this one because it's the only one going against the grain today. So we do have a low of the day sitting at a 32.36, low of the pre-market. We'll mark that down. We have a clear area of a level support right on here, 33.84. Nice little bounce. We could mark the high of the pre-market at 35.16. We'll mark that down. Let's go over here and see if we can find some levels towards the bottom. Here's that 33.84 again, showing signs of support. You do have an area after a big run. This tends to happen a lot, guys. You're gonna see this if you look at the SPY as well, at the market over time. You're gonna see this nice run up, and then you get into this area of consolidation, right? The stock is strong, it needs a rest, and then it continues heading higher. When it does that consolidation, you can see 33.84 being the area where it was the top of this consolidation, this range, and also 32.36 being the bottom of this consolidation. Not a coincidence that today these are the 2 areas that we have on our list. So below that, if it drops down, you do have a level right on here at 31.40. It's a great area to put down. And then all the way down here, again, I don't think we'll get down to 29.49, but just in case, you're all set with that level. So that's what we have here. Pre-market activity looks very, very active, guys. Right now, dropping quite a bit. We're down 8%, some really good volume. Again, don't have a bias going into this one. Just check to see what the price action is going to give you before you take it long or short. But I gotta tell you, it is setting up nicely for a rising devil at the open. We got to see what 9:15, 9:30 Eastern time looks like on this one on the pre-market. Apple, we have all the levels we need towards the bottom, guys. We can actually remove some of these, and I'm going to put the high of the pre-market right on here. So towards the bottoms, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close, you have some moving averages coming in here as well. But I am really long bias on Apple. I want this thing to break out of that high of the pre-market, test the high of the day, high of all-time high, and head higher and start setting some new highs here. So that's what I'm looking for in Apple. A good opportunity to take this long. Fast, starting to get even more volume. Not the greatest pre-market activity, but I do like the pop here. We're up 10%. 151,000 shares traded so far. Your high of the pre-market 34.33, so we'll mark that down. Very close to this area of resistance. It's almost basically right on them. You could get fancy and mark this one down just to have it, but again, we are right on there. If we can break out of this high of the pre-market now, it will be nice. This could be a good level to have. 34 right on the dot. Your low of your pre-market sitting at 32.24, but in between that, right in this area, you do have some levels that you want to mark down already. This one on here, 33.17, is a good one. That's the last area of resistance we have below the price action, so you want to have that down on your chart. If we go over here, let's see what's above this 34.33 pre-market. So right here we do have not the greatest daily chart, right? This is not a great daily chart. You can see here the candlesticks are not giving you a nice little flow, but clearly this is an area of resistance up here at 35.81. Very clean right there. Again, this year's very crappy trading. Doesn't look great on the daily, but that 35.81 is an area you want to mark down, as you can have an area of loss of momentum and some possible resistance. Now on the way up, guys, be aware of the whole dollars, right? For example, on this daily, this is a very clean area of resistance at 34. Look how beautiful that trades back down, right? That's a very clean area of support, area of resistance. And when you find support like that, those are very clean. Here, you're not quite getting that type of nice movement besides the flat top here at 35. So be aware of 35, right? Be aware of 35. That's going to be an area where you can have some loss of momentum or resistance and before it tries to break out of it. So we'll mark it down to have that on there. 35 will be an area you want to be on the lookout for. Nvidia, guys, so Nvidia's kind of got the same look as Apple, also trying to break out. We'll mark this level here, 188.32. What do we have towards the top here? Same thing, another like flat top look like we did on YNDX. So 193.16. We'll mark that down as well for Nvidia. Towards the bottom, guys, plenty. Don't need to mark anymore. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days and the previous day close. This might be one. It looks good, but this might be one that I might take off because it just got way too many. Let's look at Netflix. It's one of our possibles, but it's really got to get some kind of pre-market activity. Price right now is sitting right at an area of support. If you mark down 284.11, right, 284.11 right there, or 283.91. That's an area that has been tested 3 times before we had this beautiful drop. So we'll mark that down, and then we have an area up here of 298.89. So again, we're far out from that, and also 290 is going to be an issue because you have a moving average right on there. But right now, Netflix is again, it's got to get a better pre-market activity. So we'll remove it for now, even from as a possible, just to watch less stock and be a little more focused and fine-tuned. So let's go through it, guys. Oh, we forgot one more. For the low flow team, we have SES, which is actually looking very good pre-market activity wise. High of the pre-market at 368, your low sitting at 241. What do we have towards the top? We do have a moving average at 4, but we do have a great level here at 437. We'll mark that down. We know at 4, with this type of stocks, at 4 you're going to get some kind of resistance, some kind of a volume increase around these whole dollars, right? Towards the bottom, let's see what we have in between the low and the high of the pre-market. We do have consolidation area right on here, 296, which happens to be right around that $3 mark, right? You're gonna want to be careful of those ranges. Once you start getting to as close to these whole dollar numbers, you're gonna get an increase in volume and activity. So that is what we have for that. Again, pre-market activity on this one, guys, looks very good. So for the low flow team, this is 1 million shares flow. So be very, very careful on the number of shares you take. But you can see it has a nice little pattern. Looks like it's trying to retest this 370, which is the high of the pre-market. If it can break out of that, it can possibly hit 4 very easily. Some people are probably going to get squeezed and bail on it, or you're going to have some buyers also jumping in on here. Volume is great right now, 1.6 million shares traded. That's the type of activity you want to see if you are trading low flow of stocks. All right, so this is what we have so far. Norm, anything that we missed?
No, I don't think so. But watching you go through that, I felt like you were a juggler and people kept throwing more objects at you to get into the move as the gappers list just slowly started expanding.
Yeah, it
Good
just
job,
keeps
buddy.
going. It just keeps going. Thanks, man. So I think today's one of those days where there's going to be a lot that's active. PCG's on here. I mean, PCG has been just horrible. I be aware of this stock. I traded very choppy yesterday too. But yeah, guys, we're going to keep fine-tuning this list in the chat room. Again, I think 9:30 we'll keep looking at until 9:30 we'll keep looking to see what comes up, what looks better. Like Nvidia here, we might go through this list again in our chat and see what we could replace Nvidia with. Nvidia looks good, but there could be something else here that possibly looks better with some activity. So guys, thank you for joining us on YouTube. Take care. Have a safe trading day today. Have a great weekend. Norm, what's the message for this weekend as we go into our trading day, our final trading day of the week?
You always want to end on a good note. Even if you have a red day, stick to your rules. Don't have to sleep on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night thinking about rules you broke on Friday. We deal in probabilities. Mm-hmm. We do them to our best. You're not always going to have a green day. You can't control that necessarily. You can control sticking to your rules. So that's the biggest thing I have to say. And once again, Texas fight.
There you go. Take care, guys.
That's my role for tomorrow. Take care, guys. Trade safe, be smart, and I'll see you Monday morning.